Hello everybody, today we're gonna talk about three important parts of a speech. We're gonna start with determiners. Determiners are words that introduce and modify nouns. They can help us to specify or clarify the noun we are referring to. They are classified in articles, as we can see in next example, a and the. Possessives, my, your, his, her, its, are, their. Demonstratives, this, that, this, those. Numerals, they can be cardinal or ordinals, as in the example we have one, first, quantifiers, a few, another, several, much, many, a lot of, any, some, very. As we know, some is used in affirmative statements and any for questions and for negative statements. As an example, we have the three small kittens chased their playful mother down the sunny street as a kind passerby watched smiling at the heartwarming scene. Da is the definite article. Three is a number determiner. A small adjective that describes the noun kittens. There is a possessive determiner. Playful is an adjective describing the noun mother. I is an indefinite article. Kind is an adjective describing the noun passerby. Smiling is a present participle adjective modifying passerby. Heartwarming is an adjective also describing the noun seen. We have now the pronouns. The pronouns are words that replace nouns in a sentence to avoid repetition and make language more efficient. It also helps us to avoid repeating the name of the person all the time. If we already know the context of a conversation, we can refer to things with it or to people with he or she, depending on the case. Here we have an example. Jan went to the store and Jan bought a candy bar. Instead, we can use a pronoun and say Jan went to the store and he bought a candy bar. Here we are replacing Jan for he. And we're not gonna repeat the same name all the time. It is gonna make the conversation more interesting, and we're gonna avoid repeating all the time the name of the person. Types of pronouns. Subject or personal pronouns are used to refer to specific people or things. It indicates who is the doer of the action. As an example, we have I eat eggs every day. Here we already know the pronouns I, you, he, she, it, we, and they. In the object pronouns, we use direct object pronouns when the noun is the receiver of the action located after a verb or a preposition. It is the difference here. Here, I, you is the doer of the action, and here is the receiver of the action. We have common direct object pronouns in English include me for the first person, you for the second person, and him, her, it, us, and them for the third person. As an example, we have she loves me. The verb loves acts upon me. He saw her at the party. The verb saw acts upon her. Indirect object pronouns, beneficiary of the action. Using direct object pronouns when the noun is the beneficiary or recipient of the action. As an example, we have she gave me a gift. The noun me is the recipient of the gift. He told her a story. The noun her is the beneficiary of the story. Replace the noun with the object pronoun. In the example, we have I saw Mary yesterday. We already know that the noun is Mary. I saw her yesterday, using the direct object pronoun her to replace the noun Mary. As I was telling you before, it is gonna help us to avoid repeating the name of the person all the time. And it is also gonna help us to make the conversation not a robotic conversation, but it is gonna help us to make a natural conversation, and also in the English that is our second language. The position of the object pronouns are typically placed before the verb in English. We have here the example, she loves me, she hates me, he told her a story, he told him a story. Now we can see the possessive pronouns are pronouns that indicates ownership or possession, that something belongs to someone or something else. Here we have the first example. The common possessive pronouns are mine, yours, his, hers, its, ours, and theirs. They are located after a verb or a preposition. Here we have the example, this card is mine, or this is my card. We can use both. This is my card. Instead, you can say this card is mine, but you are gonna choose one of them. But it is gonna be the same in different words. The blue books are yours. It is the second example. Now we have the relative pronouns. Here we can see who, that, which, whose, when, where, why, and whom. Here we are gonna start with who and that they are used to identify a person, which, and also that is used to identify a thing or idea. As an example, we have he has a country house which he bought last year. It is referring to a person. Whose, to express possession, when, used to identify a time or a specific moment, where, to identify a place, why, we use it to identify a cause, whom, used after a preposition, it is also used after an object, and it is used when we're gonna refer to people especially. As an example, we have that is the girl to whom I gave the tablet. And yeah, that is especially talking about relative pronouns. The woman who lives next door is a doctor. The relative pronoun who is going to introduce the relative clause who lives next door and relates to the noun woman in the main clause. This is the house where I grew up. Where is referring to the house. Clarity and details. Relative pronouns help add clarity and depth to sentences by providing extra information about a noun. They allow us to create complex sentences that convey more than just basic facts. And now we're gonna check adverbs. Adverbs are words that modify verbs, adjectives, other adverbs, or entire sentences. They add information about how, when, where, or to what extent an action is performed, or they can modify the intensity or manner of an adjective or another adverb. Adverbs, there are a lot of types of adverbs. Here we can see adverbs of manner. These adverbs describe how an action is performed and often end in ly. Examples, we have quickly, slowly, beautifully, carefully. Adverbs of frequency. These adverbs indicate how often an action occurs. Examples, we have always, often, rarely, never. Adverbs of time. These adverbs specify when an action takes place. Examples, we have now, yesterday, soon, later. Function of adverbs. Modifying verbs. Adverbs often modify verbs. Example, she sings beautifully. Adverbs can also modify adjectives and other adverbs. For example, he is extremely talented. Modifying an adjective or modifying an adverb. As in the last example, she sings very well. Here we can see that it is the example of how it can modify also an adverb. And the last examples we have, she danced gracefully. Adverb of manner, he rarely visits his grandparents. She will definitely come to the party. Unfortunately, it rained on our picnic day. Adverbs help convey details about actions, describe the circumstances in which they occur, and express the speaker's attitude or viewpoint. Well, those were the three parts that I found a little bit difficult, but I hope that you can understand a little bit more about this important theme as I did. Thank you so much for your time. Have a nice day.